Hello, Ruach. It's good to be with you again and to get the chance to talk to you a little bit more about Colossians. As you can probably tell, this is not my usual clothes. These are the clothes that I wore a few years ago when I was a gas meter reader. My job was to go around and read the numbers on people's gas meters, and wearing these clothes, I could get away with all sorts of things. People would let me hang out in their front yards, hang out in their backyards, let me walk around the sides of their houses or climb under their houses. People would open the doors for me and let me just come into their house and read their gas meter wherever it was. I even got to go into businesses' basements without getting my ID checked. I knew where the spare keys were to a building in the CBD, where I got to go up on the roof and read their gas meter on the roof. Why it was there, I don't know, but that was my job, and I wore this and I could get my job done. If I didn't wear this and I wore something different, like this, say, people probably wouldn't have trusted me to do my job. If you saw someone like this skulking around your yard, you wouldn't really trust them. Not that I wouldn't have been a gas meter reader, but I wouldn't have looked like a gas meter reader, and it would have been a lot harder to do my job. In today's passage, Paul is telling the Colossians what it looks like to be someone who is a follower of Jesus. He starts off Colossians chapter 3 by saying this: "Since then you have been raised with Christ, set your hearts on things above, where Christ is seated at the right hand of God. Set your minds on the things above, not on earthly things. For you died, and your life is now hidden with Christ in God. When Christ, who is your life, appears, then you also will appear with him in glory." Paul is moving on in his letter from saying this is who Jesus is and what he has done, to say, since you have been saved by Jesus, this is now how you should live. And he goes on then to list a whole bunch of things that if you're a follower of Jesus, you shouldn't be doing, like greed and sexual immorality, lies, idolatry, all sorts of different things that is saying this is not what it looks like to be a follower of Jesus. Then he goes on to say what we do as followers of Jesus, how we should live as people who follow Jesus, and he uses this metaphor of clothing yourselves. This is what he says: "Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Bear with each other and forgive one another. If any one of you has a grievance against someone, forgive as the Lord forgave you. And over all these virtues put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity." Paul is saying that if you are saved by Jesus, you should look like Jesus. If you're saved by Jesus, you should dress like Jesus. Not that you should actually wear the clothes that Jesus wore, but that you should live a life that reflects the fact that you are someone who follows Jesus. Just like I was a gas meter reader, and so I dressed like a gas meter reader. If you are someone who wants to be like Jesus, then you should live like Jesus. And we show this by being people who are compassionate and who are gentle and who are patient. We should forgive others because Jesus has forgiven us. And over everything, we put on love, like a jacket that just brings an outfit together. We put on love in everything we do, we love. We do this because we are saved by Jesus, and so we want to look like Jesus. If people were to look at your life, could they tell from the way that you live that you are a follower of Jesus? Next, Paul goes on to describe how the people of God should be living. What does it look like for a community of followers of Jesus to dress like him? And this is what he says: "Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, since as members of one body you are called to peace, and be thankful. Let the message of Christ dwell among you richly as you teach and admonish one another with all wisdom through psalms, hymns, and songs of the Spirit, singing to God with gratitude in your hearts. And whatever you do, whether in word or deed, do it all in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through him." Paul is describing the uniform of the people of Jesus. It's not bad Christian t-shirts or modest dresses for women, but it's being people who let the peace of Christ dwell among them, who know that they have been saved by God because Jesus made peace between them and God when he gave his life on the cross. And so we build that peace among one another. That we share the good news of what Jesus has done, not just from up the front, but in the conversations that we have with each other. That we sing songs that celebrate who God is and what He has done. That we live lives of thankfulness to God because He has saved us and changed us and is bringing us into a new creation with Him. This is what the uniform of the people of God looks like. And if someone was to come and see your community and to see how you get on with each other, would they say, these people look like Jesus? Would they recognize that you are different? We dress like Jesus because we've been saved by Jesus. We live like Jesus because we've been saved by Jesus. Living like Jesus doesn't save you, no more than dressing like a gas meter reader makes you a gas meter reader. But if you are a follower of Jesus, you should live a life that looks like Jesus, because the best way to follow Him is to look like Him. If you've been saved by Jesus, live a life that looks like Jesus so other people will see you and see Jesus in the way that you live, both personally and as a community. It's been good getting the chance to share with you from Colossians. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend.